Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Red EDC. Oh, today we're going to be taking a look at a brand that probably maybe not a lot of people are familiar with, and that is YoboTool. This is the YoboTool Meg. Now, as far as I know, the only place to get these are basically on the YoboTool website or on Amazon. If you're not too familiar with them, that's kind of what their packaging looks like. This one is the Meg, but pretty standard, nondescript packaging. Really, it's pretty simple, straightforward. But orange and black box, that's what they come in. Now, if you remember, real quick, I have showed this one on the channel, well, quite a few times actually. As a matter of fact, we talked about it fairly recently on SKL. This is the YoboTool Cayman, and I do have a video review on the Cayman. So if you want to check that out, there should be a little card up there. You can be more than happy to click on and check out the YoboTool Cayman. But today we're going to be talking about the Meg, and I like that. YoboTool. It's not the YoboTool Meg. It's YoboTool the Meg. Let's zoom out just a little bit more. We'll check it out. Now, the Cayman I got last year at Blade Show West, and I'm really hoping that YoboTool is going to be back at Blade Show West again this year, so I will definitely go and talk to them. But this one was actually provided to me by YoboTool. They provided this one, and they also provided one of their other models, the Silverback. So a review will be coming up on that one as well. So, as you can see there, got black G10 over black stainless steel. Not much skeletonization going in on the liners. The liners are pretty thin, so it's not like you're reducing a lot of weight. You would a little bit, but not too bad. You've got a black stainless wire clip. You do have kind of a lanyard slot there, I guess is a proper term for it. Now, the Meg has a 4.5-inch handle length, and as I measure it, it's got about a 4-inch grip length. So that's how it looks in my 3 3/4-inch hand. And somebody asked me recently why I always say I have a 3 3. It gives context. That's kind of why I do that. So now, as you saw, it is a flipper. No jimping or anything on the flipper. Don't really need it. It flips it out pretty well without it. Once you got it open, you've got a 3.5-inch VG10. Kind of a slight drop point on there right at the end of the blade. Just a bit. Fully black coated finish. And a 3 3/8-inch cutting edge on it. You've got an 8-inch fully open length. YoboTool. They are made in China. There's kind of the YoboTool logo. You've got a pretty clean blade, except for a little bit of oil. But there's really your only marking on the blade at all. Your VG10 right there. Let's break out the old scale here, and we'll get some measurements. No, wait. Starting out in grams, we're going to be looking at 133, and ounces, that equates to 4.7. So as I said, that one liner is not milled very much for weight reduction, not skeletonized. Like I said, they are kind of slim liners, very thin. Take another look at that. I mean, they're not bad, but if you milled out scallop knives for weight reduction, you could potentially start, compromise. If you want to use it for heavy, hard use, you might compromise that a bit. Now that clip, that's going to give us, it's the same, so we'll do right there. Width, right about that 1/2 inch point. And in the pocket, width in the pocket, you're looking at about, not quite 1.25 inches. I'm getting about 1.2, 1.21, right in there. Now, carry-wise, it carries pretty good in pocket. That wire clip, that's how you say it. I mean, in and out of the pocket pretty easily. The one thing I will say about this clip is you notice that you've got that kind of offset pocket clip. When it's in the pocket, I mean, it's a little wide, but it does it likes to ride like this. Because, obviously they're not the same height. So if you're doing a lot of fidgeting and moving around, it kind of it doesn't want to carry straight necessarily. It does tend to. So is that a big deal? Not for me, really. I mean, you can pretty much adjust it, and it sits right back in your pocket. But, it is a little bit. But, that's me. Me being picky, I guess. But my overall take on, no. I gotta show you how it carries. I guess that would help explain what I'm trying to say. So see, there's the bottom one. What I'm saying is it likes to kind of kick. So when you're down there, I mean, you got quite a bit sticking out. I mean, when you're just sitting like that, I mean, you're looking at a good 3/4 of an inch, probably. Yeah, if not almost a full inch sticking out of your pocket. Now, if it does kick, and ride kind of like so, then you're kind of cutting your profile down to closer to that 1/2 inch. But now my overall take. It's a pretty solid knife. It's got a really pretty smooth action on it. I mean, it's riding on bearings. It is a liner lock, like I said. Then again, the liners are a little thin, so I definitely wouldn't call this a heavy use knife. I mean, I don't use my knives heavy use. I mean, it's pretty much cutting rope and stuff. And it does that just fine. For what I use my primary EDCs for, it performs its job very well. Decent action. Solid lockup for the most part. Now, there is a little bit of up and down. I mean, not really. That was funny. It did it, but now it's not. It must have settled in on that lock. Yeah, because now it's not. It was right at first, but now it's not. So, take note, there was when I first started doing it, but now there's not. So, I mean, what's our lockup sitting at? Our lockup's sitting at, we need a light. Where's my flashlight? Oh, there it is. What's our lock? Let's see, it's hard to, it's probably sitting at, let me look off here for a minute. Yeah, it's pretty deep. The lock engagement is not, I don't know, it's pretty hard to see, but it's kind of high. Your lock's up there ways, and it's locking in. Whew, yeah. We're looking at probably when I was messing with it, it moved over. We're looking at probably, wow, it's at like 60 to 70%. So it's a little late. Let me make sure I'm not BSing you in here. Well, I kind of was. It's really hard to see because it's black on black. And I know you're not looking at anything on the table right now. So if it's 50%, I would call it a good 50%. But it actually engages way up in there. I mean, you might be able to, yeah, 50%. We'll call it 50%. I really like the nondescript blade, the coated blade. I like that. I'm still leaking oil. I need to blow that out better. Flush it out some more. There's your logo, YoboTool logo. Like I said, our only markings are our VG10 right there. No jimping. No jimping. It doesn't really need it. Choil. Yeah, not bad. Serviceable, I believe. In hand. Now this is where we start to, this is where we'll talk about things. The handle itself is good. I like the handle. The G10 has decent gripability. Access to the liner lock. Yeah. It's alright. I mean, there's plenty of it. And then you got that, you can see there your liner's kind of scooped out, milled out a little bit to help. So yeah, that's not bad. For me, this is, I'm not digging it. In my hand, that clip, it hits me wrong. It hits me kind of all sorts of wrong. It's yeah. Using it like I did, yeah. Not a huge fan of that pocket clip. I mean, it stands up pretty high. And this is what's getting me right here. Now, I'll go back to what I said about my hand size. I have about a 3 3/4 inch hand from here to here. Okay, now I have a friend at work. He's kind of a knife guy. You know, he's not a YouTube do review type knife guy or anything like that. But then again, I'm just a guy that likes knives and talks on YouTube, so he could do it probably fairly easily. But he's just a guy that uses a knife. And I let him use it for a while, just to see. Now he has a 4-inch hand. 1/4 of an inch difference. He said that pocket clip did not bother him one bit while he was using the knife. So, there you go. That's kind of why I do the whole, my hand measurement and stuff like that. It adds a little context. And in this case, it actually lends quite a bit of context because my friend at work has a larger hand than me, only by a 1/4 inch, but apparently that 1/4 inch is enough because that pocket clip, I'm not crazy about it. I don't really care for it. Would it affect me using this knife? Probably would. But he said it was no issue. So, there you go. That's kind of a little bit, hopefully a little bit more context for you. Then this knife overall, I mean, it's a pretty solid knife. I definitely would not call it a hard use knife because of those liners. I really don't think those liners can support hard use. The lockup's at about 50%. I think you could probably, that would probably work it out on you. Now, just so you know, the Cayman, I love the Cayman. It really looks odd. It looks like it has an odd handle, but it's very comfortable for me. And I like it a lot. I love the blade on it. This one, not so much. You know, the knife, yes, I do like. And there maybe, I might have to try to do some adjustments with that pocket clip just to see if I can. But as is, yeah, not a fan of that pocket clip. The knife is okay. The pocket clip, kind of, for me, it is pretty much, for me, I would say it's a deal breaker. You know? Now, blue. All right, let me talk about the finish. I mean, it is finished. It's finished all right, too. I didn't touch on that. The finish is okay. It's not, I wouldn't call it fantastic. It's not sharp or anything. It's fairly square. On the G10, it might be milled just a little bit. So, the finish isn't bad to the knife. I mean, there's no sharp spots or anything like that. It's comfortable in hand for me, with the exception of the pocket clip. So, yeah. Blue gave it an 8, just because, even though it's not necessarily great for my hand, it was perfectly fine for my friend. So, with a little bit larger hand. So, there's that. The knife itself, very serviceable, very usable. Pocket clip, for me, not so much. But this guy retails on Amazon for $56. And I have noticed, because I've looked at these knives several times, and quite frequently there's a $10 off coupon. So you could potentially pick this knife up for $46. If you have that little bit larger hand and it ends up working out for you, that's a pretty good $46 for a G10 and a VG10 blade. I'm a big fan of VG10 steel. I like VG10 a lot. The whole value aspect is not too bad, especially even at $56. It's a pretty good value for what you get. For $46, that makes it just a little bit better. But thank you again for YoboTools for providing this knife for review. And keep your eyes open. I will be having a review on the Silverback, the other model that YoboTool provided to me. Just spoiler alert, if you're still here, much better result. Much better result. But anyway, thank you guys. Thank you YoboTool again for providing the Meg. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today and checking out the Meg with me. As always, guys, like, subscribe, leave me a comment. You know I love talking to you. Until next time, I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Bye-bye.